I suspect it's going to be a rather rough day in the market today. Quite a few things going not so great, like, for instance, Iran saber rattling this morning and the United States trying to settle that situation down by making threats that Iran better not attack Israel. So oil has spiked based on that, according to the headlines anyway, but that makes sense to me. And then we also have the dock strike has started. That's not good news. And seems like the two parties are far apart, according to what I'm reading. They have never even had a sit-down meeting yet. So this dock strike could go on for quite a while, and it would definitely have an impact on the economy in the short term, a little bit, but within a couple of weeks, it could have a significant impact on the economy, in particular in the East and the port states. We also look for numbers this morning from China, but there's apparently a holiday in China, and so we don't get the insurance numbers today. But we do have tomorrow the overall numbers coming out, and that's what everybody's concentrating on. But with all of that going on and more, we'll talk about, the markets are down pretty strongly this morning, and Tesla along with them. As I've been pointing out for a while now, the markets are really stretched, and there's no my expectations on it being able to go up much higher have already been limited for weeks, and yet the market kept on going higher and higher. And at some point, it just has to break. And this morning, there was enough negative news to break it. How far will this impact go? Might depend on the stock. The dock strike or what's happening in Israel as well as the Ukraine. Lots and lots of moving parts. All right. So from Dan Ives this morning at Wedbush, he says, we believe that Tesla is the most undervalued AI name in the market, even at these levels. And we expect Musk and company to unveil some game-changing autonomous technology next week in LA. We continue to believe AI/FSD represents a $1 trillion of value alone. Just the AI FSD part is $1 trillion of value for Tesla over the coming years. Now, the street is estimating that Tesla, that we've got the numbers, coming in tomorrow for the third quarter. The street is estimating that Tesla will deliver 465,000, according to this report, in the third quarter, which would be a 7% year-over-year increase. Munster noted that his personal estimate is only 452,000 vehicle deliveries, way below consensus, but would still be a 4% gain year over year. Well, we have a bunch of other analyses here to make the comparison. So we have the street is at 465. We have the investor relations at Tesla. They do their own consensus analysis. That is at 462,000. Troy Teslike raised his estimate quite a bit yesterday. He's up to 472,000 now. Larry Goldberg was now at 476,000. Deutsche Bank came in this morning at 461,850, one of the lower ones. But Gene Munster beat that. He came in at only 452,000. James Catt came in 470, and he and Dan Ives are tied at 470. And at the very top, leading everybody, AJ is at 486.6. And we know AJ does as much analysis as Troy does in detail. Now, Munster claims that they're doing a lot of analysis too, and he's at 452. So that's a pretty broad stretch there from 452 to 486.6. Somebody is probably going to have egg on their face tomorrow. Then we've got Mark Delaney at Goldman Sachs comes in at 460. The whisper number is 465 to 470. Now, what does all that mean? Well, most people seem to think that the whisper number is the thing that the market's going to judge on. So that 465 to 470 is the best number I can come up with for a whisper number. So if we get above 470, then the market probably is going to be okay, whatever the number is above 470. If we get under 465, then we could see a sell-off But based on market conditions right now, we can see a sell-off even on a great number tomorrow because it's rough out there right now. I still think we'll get to 465 by 10:10, no matter what, because in a rough market, you can still see Tesla or any other company going up strongly. I think we have an example of that this morning when we take a look at the numbers. The Mag 7 has one stalwart, one company definitely going the other direction, at least earlier this morning when I looked. All right. Now, this is from Barron's, Adam Jonas of Morgan Stanley. He says the event next week, the 10:10, could unlock value, convincing investors that Tesla is more than just a car company. Well, I think the market's beginning to believe this. As Tesla CEO Elon Musk makes further progress building out its inference swarm, cars and robots, and AI compute infrastructure, including xAI, we believe that investors will see a clearer picture of the overlapping surface area between Tesla and other parts of the Musk economy, wrote Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas. Tesla uses AI-based computing to train its self-driving cars and develop labor-saving humanoid robots. Musk's AI company, xAI, competes with the likes of OpenAI on large language models, while SpaceX runs a global Wi-Fi business from space. Jonas coined the acronym DREAMS to describe the so-called Muskonomy. It is short for data, robots, energy, AI, manufacturing, and space. All right, well, you go, Jonas. All right, let's see. This is Randy Kirk. Please hit like, subscribe, notify. You probably already know that. For the 6 new people that have showed up today, that's really important to do, the hitting the like button and stuff, and then notify, because there's this regular, we just keep hitting it every day. And Brian White will be on later this morning. Of course, I already know what we're going to say on that show, and I can tell you it's a valuable set of information about the margins coming up as at least part of what we were discussing. And that is not all, but that is part of what we. So, doing Patreon would also be lovely if you wouldn't mind. And then, I forgot to mention, of course, I'm not 100% sure whether we will or will not have Nicholas with us tonight, because he got slammed with this hurricane and said that he's been working very hard moving a lot of mud and water out of his home. So very rough day for Nick, a few days for Nicholas, but we'll find out. Maybe he'll be with us tonight. All right. The East Coast and Gulfport dock strike are on. According to CNN, depending on the length of the strike, it could result in shortages of consumer and industrial goods, which could then lead to price hikes. They don't mention the farmers are the most upset. Apparently, there's all kinds of issues with regard to the being able to get the farm product out of the ports, or, loaded onto ships and sent out to foreign markets. So this is another big part. We got we just recently had the harvest, and I'm sure they're, at various levels of pulling together those harvests and getting them out to overseas customers. And of course, it's perishable. I also understand not just the things like harvesting wheat or corn or those kind of things, but also chickens and various kinds of meat products also are in danger of not being able to be shipped to markets. So this could also be a setback for the economy, which has shown signs of recovery from pandemic-induced supply chain disruptions, and could result in a spike in inflation for at least some categories of goods. Primarily, apparently, alcohol is going to be impacted. So watch out on that one. All right. According to the S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI, it was revised higher to 47.3 in September from the preliminary 47 that was originally reported, but remained the lowest since June of 2023. It's the third consecutive month of contraction, with both output and new orders falling sharply due to weakened demand and political uncertainty. Employment dropped at the fastest pace since 2010, excluding the pandemic. However, business confidence improved slightly, with optimism around post-election demand recovery. Input cost inflation softening, but remaining high, and firms raised prices at the fastest pace since April. So that's really super interesting that they're still seeing input cost inflation softening, but high and raising their prices rapidly against a situation where business is not great. Okay. The JOLTS report is out this morning. Also, the number of job openings was little changed, staying about 8 million on the last business day of August. Now, remember, this is a really old report. It's a month old. Why can't they give us the last day of September? That was yesterday. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported over the last month, hires changed little at 5.3. Total separations changed little. All right. Within separations, quits continued to trend down, and layoffs and discharge changed a little. Rate of job openings, hires, and separations for the total non-farm. I'm sorry, that's just an analysis. All right. Then the last report of the day is that construction spending during August 2024 was estimated a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 2.1 billion. I'm sorry. That is that's 2.1 billion. That's a 0.1% below the revised July estimate. The August figure is 4.1% above the August 2020, last year's estimate. So up over last year, down over last month. During the first 8 months of the year, construction spending amounted to 7.6 above the same period in 2023. So construction spending continues strong. Now, I didn't copy over all of the details, but as you can well imagine, most of this construction is infrastructure, government, et cetera, not a lot of residential and that type of private spending. All right, so with the dock strike and with everything else going on, I think we're going to see that the markets are not doing well this morning, but let's take a look and find out exactly what it is. We have got, this is rough this morning. We've got the Dow down 296. We got NASDAQ down 293. That's big. S&P down 60 and Tesla down almost $8.83. Now, all of those are flattening at this exact moment, so beginning to tick slightly up, but that puts Tesla at 252.73. We got the Mag 7 all down pretty heavily, just like Tesla, except for Meta. See, that was the one I was telling you about. It is up $5.25, but for instance, NVIDIA is down 270. And Apple, which had been up so strongly yesterday, is down 3%, down $7.76. So it is across the board this morning. Everybody's getting smacked. We have got the Cathie Woods all down as well. All right, so this is almost 100%, everything down this morning in the face of all this negative news. Percentage-wise, we have the Dow down 0.74. We've got the NASDAQ down 1.64, S&P down 1.08, and Tesla down 3.53. Again, a slight bending of the curve up for most of these issues as I look across all of these stock numbers. All right, let's go ahead and look at, it's definitely also having an impact on the bond market this morning. Let me go ahead and grab was down even more than this. The yields on the 10-year were down over 10, still down almost 8.9 basis points at 3.713. That's a little bit more where I have expected it to be. I was kind of surprised to see it there above 4.75, but okay. So I was 3.75. So big drop there. US 2-year 5.7 down, 5.7 basis points down on the yield, and the 3-month and the 2-month are both up 2.5%. You can't explain it. All right, I'm going in now to the oil down. Up $1.71 in Texas. About the same, Brent 169. So you're almost back up to 70. So even though it spiked 3% on this Iran preparing to directly attack Israel headline, that's not a lot, really. It's actually only 2.44%. And we're back under 70. We're still under 70 on Texas Intermediate. So not terrible, not a big deal. Natural gas down actually a little bit after a big run up 2.911, down 0.41% this morning. Gold is jumping in a safe haven way based on all of this negative news this morning, almost back up to 2,700, 2682 this morning, up 0.85%. Silver also up 1.07%, 31.79. Copper up also 0.83, 4.591, $4.59. And the dollar is down against the euro and the yen. The Bitcoin down another 727 at 62.7. Yeah, pretty much the market is assets are not doing well this morning, except for bonds, of course. So, and yeah, we already talked about the Dow. So let's go back real quick and take another look at where Tesla is sitting. Yeah, it's just going, down even more now, down 11. Wow. And yeah, everything going down really, really heavy, not ticking up at all at this point. Interesting. Well, wow, what a wild ride we're having this morning. I've been asking for a 10% to 20% sell-off on the S&P, a 20 to 30% sell-off on the NASDAQ. I believe that, it just takes a trigger when you're this stretched. Maybe this is where we're going to see it. And then, of course, I might fall short. We only got to 462. I really think of 262. I really think Tesla will be back close to 265, unless there's, Iran does do a major deal. Last time they just did they threw a bunch of missiles at Israel for a day just to prove that they were still in business, kind of a show of, a little chest beating. But anyway, I still think 265 is in the books before 1010 next week. All right. Yesterday, if you didn't see it, you want to go back and take a look at the Brian White, where Brian Wong, and Bradford Ferguson, we all got together and talked about what in the world are they building in Shanghai at that new mega factory. Go take a look at that. I will put the card up for that. And this morning, Brian White will be back, and we'll be talking about margin increases coming. And these margin increases are going to be substantial. And Brian actually agrees with me pretty much across the board. We talk about a lot of detail on that. So check that out around 11-ish. And then tonight, maybe we'll have Nicholas Gibbs on, depending on his situation down there in Florida. All right, that's all I got for you this morning, unless you want to go down and join Patreon. That'd be nice. And it's been great talking to you.